All right, well, I'm definitely gonna breastfeed you if I do the video like this, so let me get another tripod. Okay, I don't have to if we eat like this. Let me get my food. I need to finish this water bottle ASAP. My pee is super yellow. We're gonna have dinner today. I did this type of video the last time and I talked about cheating, relationships, and all that. I'm very sweaty and very greasy. I've been working nonstop today. I am so dedicated to the rebranding of my jewelry line. You don't even understand. I haven't talked about it here, but I'm going to be launching my Instagram soon. I will be launching my brand in August and we're gonna pop off. And it's also my birthday month, so it's very fitting and exciting. So let's see, I have teriyaki chicken. So I have these 2 little chicken breasts. I actually marinated them with a Kinder's teriyaki sauce, and then we have some veggies, just some broccoli and carrots, and a little bit of white rice. So Glenn ended up cooking this. So I marinated the chicken, I put out the steamed veggies, and I had to go because it was my friend's birthday and we're just gonna go for like a quick brunch, and I had to leave. Then I ended up leaving out the salt, pepper, garlic powder. I'm like, you know, letting him know, okay, cook the veggies like this. And it's so cute because his whole thing is he loves to walk away, which is why it's charred, but it's okay, it was made with love. So thanks, babe, for making this. He ate this yesterday, so I'm gonna eat this today. I asked on Instagram, whoa, now you can really see my sweat, different topics, and I already got some right away. So thank you so much. I'm just gonna go through the ones I see like right now. I literally just asked like 5 minutes ago, so I already have some. Let's start from the bottom to the top. Okay, dude, I wish you could go on about that Epstein info and those docs you recommend. You guys, what has ever happened to Epstein Island and all that? It's just so wild, and it's so funny you bring this up, Tori. Hopefully you guys don't mind if I say your names, but Tori Rod, Tori.Rod_. One of my best friends just was texting me and she's like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about Epstein Island. And she was like watching some documentary and there's like something on Netflix, FYI, in connection with the Victoria's Secret show. I don't know. I haven't looked into anything else besides what I told you guys. And if you don't know, I have a whole entire get ready with me video. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's like, dude, how can there just be a freaking island just there? It's gnarly to me. I don't know, but I'm not going to go too into that because I don't really know any new information. Okay, how did you come to the conclusion that you were in love? What was different this time? Well, it wasn't abusive. You know what's so funny is when I met Glenn, also I'm using paper plate so it doesn't like kind of hurt your ears. When I met Glenn, the reason why we went on a date is when we met at the gym. And what's so crazy is he actually knows my ex. That's how I met him, because my ex knows him. Toxic ass ex, horrible. So anyhow, when I met him and I was already single for like a while, I was almost single for about a year. And I literally just didn't want any relationship. I kind of like, I did go on a lot of dates because like I was basically told like, you got to learn more personalities and how people are so you can see what you really like. Man, well, I tell you, there's lots of different personalities, obviously. But when we went out to dinner, it was like the weirdest thing. Like, it wasn't love at first sight, but it was more like love at first date, where can you not bite your booty? Ewok, go over there and go bite your booty. I just gave him a shower, you guys. He's like got the scratchies because he had some fleas. So I gave him a flea bath. I gave him his flea, I'm going to give him his flea thing until his hair dries. When I went on a date with Glenn, he was honestly super, super respectful, just really kind and definitely different, not cocky at all. Let me take my first bite because I'm very curious. But what was different about Glenn is that he was very supportive. And I find that there's a lot of people in this world, like they may be supportive, but there's a big difference between just kind of like saying what you want to hear as opposed to, wait, what are you eating? No. Oh my gosh. I gave my cat her little flea medication and she had like a little tube. She's like, here, okay. get down, please. She's not gonna get down. I don't know why I said that. But when I was with Glenn, he was truly supportive. Like everything I mentioned to him and everything I was trying to pursue, he truly listened. He gave really good feedback. He was just, whoops, took a screenshot, didn't mean it. Just very proactive in everything. So to me, yeah, you're attracted to someone. Yeah, like you physically like someone. But to me, that's truly not love. And love, what really builds love are all the experiences you build together and just bringing each other up. And that's what I find is true love. Obviously, you have to be attracted and all that. But yeah, I don't know. He was just really proactive and I really truly supportive, not just like blowing smoke up my ass, basically, which a lot of people can do. But yeah, just very respectful. If you guys haven't seen my other videos, he didn't kiss me until our 4th date. And what's so funny is, and also kind of sad, because in society you think like, oh, like you're supposed to get kissed on the 1st date or 2nd, right? So for me, this is the first time where, well, one, I would never kiss anybody if I really didn't want to. I was huge on that. Like if I did not like you, these lips ain't going on you, sorry. But with Glenn, it took the 4th or 5th date, I can't think right now. I'm so hungry and tired, sorry, for him to kiss me. And I thought, and I told my best friend at the time, well, still my best friend, not at the time, my best friend, you know, if he doesn't kiss me, I don't know, like, why are we going on dates? Like, does he like me or not? Like, I'm like the type where I don't want to waste anybody's time. And I said that too. I was like, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want my time wasted, because then there's like no point to like drag things on, or like, you know, there's no point, like no big deal. So yeah, he didn't kiss me until way later, which I really respect, because he's like, yeah, because I have respect for you. I was like, whoa, like that's pretty wild. So yeah. Okay, next. Erica with a 3. Relationships, like red flags from past experience. Did I swallow a bone? I thought it was boneless. Maybe just a hard piece. So let's try this broccoli. Look how cute, all charred. This is when he walked away. Still good. You put the garlic powder, like I said. Red flags from past experience. Being overly nice to everybody around you, where it's almost, and that sucks to say, right? Like people can be nice, but I'm talking about like oozing with just super nice, looking like the perfect guy, extra, like really trying to be like the model boyfriend. Like I want everybody to know I'm so perfect to you and I'm so perfect for everyone and I get along with everybody and I help everybody out, where it's just like super extra and they like to point that out. That's a red flag in my opinion. Also, someone who starts saying like, oh, well, let's just hang out, just us two. You don't have to hang out with your friends. And you slowly start cutting out the friends and hanging out, and they want you to get away from your friends. That's also a red flag. Like when they don't really like your friends. Because I can understand if someone's just like, oh, I don't really think they're like a really great match for you, because one, maybe they're like wild. Maybe they're just doing some stuff that they just don't agree with or whatever. And they're just thinking, you know, maybe they think, you know, you're better than those types of times or whatever. I don't even know what the hell. But like you're better than, okay, say for instance, you got a friend who's dropping down in the splits and she never wears underwear in the club. Okay. And then they kind of see that and like, whoa, okay, friend's pretty wild. Definitely like just showing her, you know, her nanny. And so maybe they're just not into that. Something like that. Or maybe someone who goes into like heavy drugs or anything like that. Okay, Hoku, can you get down? Thank you. She smells my dinner. Then I can understand, because they're trying to like guide you. You know what I mean? Like they can kind of see like, hey, I don't really think she's like a good influence, whatever. But other red flags, I'm just honestly basing it off of my own toxic relationship, because I didn't know this person was going to be mentally and physically abusive until like a year into it. And what's so crazy too is when I had an old student meet him, she even told me, like, I remember, she's like, he's always just so nice and so extra. Like she was almost like she could maybe had some intuition of how he was. And that's why I say just a guy that's like the go-to guy or whatever, and like extra helpful and extra great, because it's almost like they're compensating for everything that they're about to bring to you. I don't know, in secret. Red flags, people who want to constantly look at your phone. Glenn is the first guy, which I could say I could be like a red flag. Glenn is the first guy I've never wanted to go through his phone, because I honestly don't think I would find anything, and I just trusted him and he could trust me. And I had like no interest. I still to this day don't even give a shit what's on his phone, to be honest. But people who always, here's a new one. People who want to know your location all the time. I get safety, but there's a borderline between safety and number two, I want to stalk you and make sure you're in my control. I think that's weird. Super weird. Yeah. I also find that it's like, if you're not an influencer or whatever, and you have like these couples accounts where like they're under control, that's weird to me too. But there's kind of like a borderline with that too. Other red flags, someone who drinks a lot, someone who parties a lot, someone who does like a lot of, things that are not going to make them themselves. I also find that any guy who has a ton, and it is what it is through like experience and knowing friends and all that. When they have like so many girlfriends, like they're just friends though, in their circle, in their group, he's probably having sex with them or he's attracted to them or whatever a lot of the time. Like he's not just like, oh yeah, I just like having girlfriends. No, like you should have some guy friends too. It's okay to have girlfriends, but when you have like all girlfriends and like so many girls know them, that's a red flag too, in my opinion. Again, it's kind of hard to like say too, because I can't really speak for everyone. But the same goes for girls. Like everything that I listed, the same goes for girls, because I will say I've known some pretty cray people that I'm just like, well, you're on another level. I can be crazy too, though. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Like if something went down, I can be cray. Okay. Your experience with other toxic influencers from Brit Baby. I'm not gonna list any influencers, but any toxic influencers. Okay, so I'm going to say this. When I was going to go to the event, I was talking to this one influencer, and I forgot to grab a napkin. And we were FaceTiming, we were like getting along, we were like texting all the time. I never got any weird red flag from her. She wasn't from California, so I was like super excited to meet her, because I'm like building a relationship with this influencer, and I find that we have like, you know what I mean? Like similar personalities and all that. So she comes down, and when I meet her, she's honestly a completely different person. She acted like we never like had FaceTime, like we never texted, like we never anything. And she treated me as like someone, like she did know me, but we weren't as close as I personally thought. And at first I was like, oh, well, maybe she's just kind of shy or nervous, because I'm kind of like nervous, because I don't really do this. And so then we were at the event, and we basically were at the event separate. She definitely did not hang out with me a lot. She was all about trying to ride coattails and kiss ass to like a lot of other influencers. And then she would kind of just touch base with me when she needed something. Like, hey, do you think you can give me a ride? Like if you go to this event tonight, because there was like lots of parties and stuff like that at night. And I'm just thinking like, you're an effing user, And so I made an excuse, and I was like, no, I can't pick you up like from where I'm at. And then if I go this way, like I'm going to be totally late, which kind of was true also for me to like leave, get ready, and then go back. Like it was out of the way and way too long, because LA County is huge. And I've dealt with a lot of influencers that when you meet them in person, you're like, whoa, you definitely put on a good act. Because for me, like people, I always get excited, but also a little bit sad at the same time, because they're like, oh my gosh, you're just like your videos. The only thing people say to me sometimes is, oh my gosh, you're so tall, I'm 5'9". Or they'll say, sometimes they say my voice is different in person. So I don't know. It could be maybe my nervous voice. I don't know. Those are like the things that I hear. Or I would always get, oh my gosh, you're so much prettier in person. I'm like, damn, all that lighting and camera equipment ain't doing shit. Okay. There was 2 influencers at a Beyonce concert one year, and I was so excited to meet them because I've seen them at events, but it was sort of like, oh, they're a part of this one clique, and I kind of felt uncomfortable intruding because you do get those vibes, those kind of catty vibes. And this is like from before when I was going to events all the time. Now I honestly don't care. I've been avoiding events. When I get invites still, I'm just kind of like, thanks, but I'm good, you know? I just have no interest. Maybe, you know, it all just depends on the brand and all that. So Glenn told me, just go say hi to them. Like, this is your chance. Like, no one's around them right now. Like, go say hi because, you know, we're sitting pretty close to the front of the stage, and they were too. They were like about maybe like 7 or 8 rows behind me and behind because I got all catty and I was like, well, they're sitting behind us. Because they were like really rude to me. And that's the only reason why I said that little petty thing, just to make myself feel better, because hey, we ain't perfect. So I go and I say hi. I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I see you guys at these events all the time, and I just recently saw them like at a Make It Forever event and all that. I said, I saw you guys, but you know, it just gets so busy. I said, and sometimes you just can't find like the right time to say hi, so I wanted to introduce myself. And they both just looked at me and they're just like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. And like looking like I was an inconvenience to them, like looking at me like what else do you want? And they didn't ask what my channel was, what my Instagram was, like normal shit that normal girls would do, right? And especially it's not like I'm like some fan or whatever, because I do know some people get super weird with subscribers and they're like, I don't want to take a picture with you, or I don't want to, you know, they just get like, I'm busy, you know, I'm living my life right now, please don't bother me type of vibe. I don't know. So I was just in shock. I was like, oh, okay, well, and so I'm sitting there, I'm literally mortified, ready to effing cry, you guys, like so mortified, so pissed off. I went over, I come back, I just say, oh, okay, well, it's nice meeting you, enjoy the concert. Oh, nice. I like walk, and I'm like, as I'm walking, I'm like dying inside too. But then I'm just thinking, well, at least I'm walking forward and not back. Oh, girl, you cannot be on the table. She likes to come on the table. Whee! So then I went back and Glenn's like, how did it go? I said, I'm so stupid. I wish I never would have went. And he was actually in shock. And then he was like, F them. He goes, nobody even knows who they are right now. We're at Beyonce's concert. Everybody knows Beyonce. Ain't nobody going up to them. You know what I mean? Maybe they're in a bad mood because no one recognizes them. But and he said, besides, like, our seats are better. I was like, yeah, our seats are better. You know what I mean? To make myself feel better. But yeah, that was like, I was in shock because it was like one of those times where you thought, wow, this is the most optimal time to say hi to someone. And I don't know. I also I've been around influencers who have been definitely under the influence of something other than alcohol. It was very awkward in an elevator. And who they were dating at the time, it was very awkward, and I felt like their person they were dating was definitely checking me out, and I will say their person was definitely checking everybody else out that whole entire weekend event. And yeah, it was just wild. But other than that, I also went to an event back in the day that I went and I didn't know anybody. And then I finally recognized someone because I said, hey, I'm going to have the balls and I'm going to go to an event by myself. And so then, because usually I bring like Glenn because there's like an open bar, and he's like, hey, if there's an open bar, I'm down. Like, I want some liquor. I'll have a drink, whatever. And then we'll go have dinner. I ended up going by myself, and I was really proud of myself. And I get there, and I'm nervous as F. I'm like, shit, these really aren't like a lot of vloggers. I feel like these are a lot of like bloggers at the time, or people who are, I don't know, just, I didn't recognize anybody. I didn't even know who the hell they were, to be very honest. Like, just like with NPR and with different brands. Sorry, I think rice just flew out. And so then I finally recognized someone, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so happy. So I said, okay, let me just go get a drink really quick. I see where she's at. And then we kind of like still stroll around so I don't just go to her like a security blanket. And so then I just kind of, you know, glanced around, whatever. And I went up to her. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Like, I'm so glad I saw you. And she's like, oh, hi, how are you? I was like, oh, I'm doing good. And it was fine at first. And then after, she just kind of like pushed me aside, where it was just, she did it in a way where it was like, all right, well, I already said hi to you. Like, it's great to see you. And just went on with the people she was like with, who I didn't recognize. And yeah, I literally hated that night. I came home, I was like crying in my car. I was like, F this, I'm never going to an event ever again. I mean, I went to several events after that. But yeah, there's just like a lot of influencers that is just, that I've had some experiences with. But then there's also a lot of influencers that are absolutely amazing too. I can't really tell you like, oh my gosh, it's 50-50 with every influencer. That's definitely not the case, because there are a lot of wonderful ones. But since the question was asking about toxic influencers, like that's why I was answering the way I was. But yeah, now I don't really talk to too many influencers, to be very honest. I've connected with some new ones, which make me really happy. Sometimes it's not all what it's cracked up to be. And sometimes it's cool just to have just normal friends not talking about influencer shit. You know what I mean? So yeah. Okay, how do you feel about how influencers floss the material things on social media? I was just having a conversation about this with Glenn. Now, I will say, number one, I do like nice things. I'm not going to lie and say I don't like nice things. I definitely like nice things. It doesn't make my world go round. It's not what I revolve my whole entire life around either, but I do like nice things. I will say I don't think I really show off. Sometimes I think I overthink things, like I don't know, because I like being sensitive to other people, but at the same time sometimes I feel like I am a little bit too sensitive, where I'm tiptoeing too much, because you have to also be able to, you know, like show things that you have achieved and you've accomplished. You're able to go to all these things, you know, and that's all about being positive and looking in the light, like, hey, like I can achieve it, you can achieve it too, like let's all achieve it together type of thing, you know, like, hey, if I travel somewhere, I want you to be able to travel here too, let me give you some recommendations type of thing. That's where I come from. But as far as like constantly showing nice things, constantly showing, look at me, this is what I have, I think I used to like looking at all those things back in the day, like when I first started Instagram, because it's like, oh wow, and it's kind of new when you're seeing people's, you know, all the shit they got, whatever. Like, whoa, that's so cool. But now it's kind of like, all right, well, it's been done, it's overdone, and there's other things that we can show. But I personally don't follow anybody that really shows off a lot. I've really gone through my friends list of Instagram, so if you kind of follow someone that just puts you in like an icky mood, which I've said before on my channel, you should just unfollow them. Because when I look at my Instagram, I don't get annoyed anymore. Like, I mean, I probably should do like another clean sweep possibly, but so far it's okay. Like, I don't really have anybody that just like shows off or look at me. I'm not really into that at all. But yeah, I would just keep it moving and just delete them and not follow, because yeah. But some accounts I do like there's one girl I follow, I can't remember her name, and she really loves Chanel, but she shows like a lot of pink Chanels, and I just think it's cute, like, because she's not really showing off. She just has like a certain girly aesthetic that I'm just like, she's so cute, like she's having such a good time. So I don't really look at it as that. But see, there's like a way that people show off, and there's a way where people just say like, hey, I really like this stuff. You know, it's done a certain way, I will say. Okay. I would love to hear more about your empathic situations. Erica again. You guys, I've talked about this, and sometimes I get like a little bit, no, I'm not gonna say a little, I do get embarrassed to talk about it, because I don't want anybody to think I'm crazy. Like, I literally have nothing to lie about. I get nothing out of like if I was creating some story or whatever, but I have really huge intuition with people. Sometimes when people, and it's not like anxiety or whatever. I was also having a conversation with my best friend about this. Like, some people just make my stomach flutter like crazy, and I think it's because their energy is off. I've talked about, yeah, like I can just get a vibe from someone, and I think that's why I keep my circle so small. Yeah, I haven't had too many crazy things happen besides like what happened like at our house and all that. So I've been very happy. I don't really like seek out or proactively try to practice anything or do anything. I will just say like I can feel energy from certain people. It just gets much stronger with some. It also depends like where I'm at. So like the overall energy, like it can affect me, and I feel drained. Just out of nowhere, I'm just like, whoa, like that was a lot. That's about it, really. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I've kind of talked about it on my channel. Like, I can, like, see, like, work with like energy and light. Specifically at night, it's much easier. I kind of have done it during the day, practice. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, moving on. From have unresolved drama with my mother. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna say the name. I have unresolved drama with my mother-in-law. Am I wrong for putting a big wall up? She's never apologized, by the way. I think at the end of the day, everybody has to have respect for each other, regardless of, I don't know, like just because there's a mother-in-law, maybe there's a father-in-law, a grandma, whatever, you just have to have a common respect. And I don't believe in, oh, because this is my mom, or this is my dad, this is my grandma, this is my uncle, this is my aunt, like this is my sister or brother, which is very common, you have to respect them and blah, blah, you know. No, it's like a mutual respect. That also, that's very important because it can get tricky with like family members. Like your partner also has to support you and understand like, hey, I need help, B. You know what I mean? Like, hey, understand my situation. This isn't right, because those get very sensitive. So I do believe that the partner should be somewhat involved, because if that's like your mother-in-law, obviously that's your partner's mom. So they have to be supportive too. And I think it's just good just to be adults and talk about things. And if you can't talk about things, then you kind of just have to keep it moving, because what are you going to do? Just beat yourself up? I don't know. It's not worth it. It's not worth stressing. And that may sound harsh, but it's like, it's just all about respect at the end of the day. And you're not the only one who reached out to me, who asked me about the mother-in-law, because there was another question. I said, hey, can I talk about this? Which I had a pineapple who DM'd me, and she was asking me questions like, how would you feel like if my fiance has to pay for all his mother's bills and she just drains him of his money, and she's always asking for extra money or to buy her things and all that and spoil her, while he's not keeping up with their own bills, and he's asking her to pay a little bit more rent because he's a little low on money, or he overspent for the month. He's always just siding with her, or whatever his mom says, that's what goes. And it's like, if you're going to be in a full-on relationship and you're engaged, like that's huge. And so Rita, you're like married, so yeah, you definitely have to resolve that, because that's not a good feeling. But yeah, I just think it's all about respect and being very open with communication, and everybody's an adult, so just speak up. And there's a way to go about it. RESPECT. Okay. Getting over a depression spell. How do you get motivated again? I've let myself go these past 2 years. You know, like I said, I definitely went through a depression. I definitely hated myself. I definitely said a lot of mean things to myself. I was just really in a super dark place that I never, ever, ever want to be ever again. It's actually very scary. And when I really see myself from like looking from the outside in, I'm like, whoa, that's not me. And you have to find motivation in things that bring you joy. You have to make sure that you let go of negativity, and you just have to let those things go and find what brings you light. Honestly, if someone is toxic in your life, then maybe they have to go. If it's not as easy just to let them go, you gotta try to sort it out. And if it doesn't, then you just gotta let it go. I don't believe in people keeping other people in their lives at the sacrifice of their own peace. And I think that's what puts a lot of people in a lot of depression too, because people are literally blood-sucking leeches. And I'm not about it. So, let it go. Bye. I was supposed to go to the gym tonight, but I didn't. I'm too tired. Like, I know mentally I'm just like way too tired, and it's not like an excuse. I've been working so many hours, but it would be a dead workout. Go to the gym, find some sort of exercise, because you have to just alleviate just your stress and all that. Find some sort of dance, some sort of activity, get yourself outdoors, go outside, go do a hike. Being outside in nature really does something for you. A lot of us are stuck on our phones, stuck in offices, stuck inside the house, working remotely still, just stuck in the same scenario all the time, and we never get out of our routine because it's like robot, must work, must get things done, must make dinner and clean, no time for self. No, you got to make time for yourself. Whether it's cutting out that little extra show that you wanted to watch or that series, come on now. Some people will like literally binge watch 2 seasons of some shit just because it's popping. You have time. Just get out and do it. I highly recommend it. There's like some whole trend like hot girl walk. Go take a hot girl walk. But clear your mind. You got to find something that makes you happy, which I find you have to do. So for me, I love to dance. So it's like a twofer for me. So I teach my online dance class and I dance, and I go to the gym. I go for walks. I need to go by the ocean a little bit more, which I'm not that far from, so I should definitely take advantage, which it sounds crazy to me. I want to go on more hikes, just be outdoors and more in tune with nature. I started doing some meditation in the morning time where I just like sit outside and I bring some water, and that's like the first thing I want to drink in the morning, because you know, sometimes I just really lack on my water intake, and I'm just in silence. I'm like, and I just breathe to myself, and I do it for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But yeah, I'm kind of to like 15 minutes where I just like want to just release myself and just, you know, have my own little time. So yeah. Okay, next up, out of all the years you have been doing YouTube, is there a year where you thought you were done doing it? Yes. 2020. I don't know. Like, I've kind of gone through moments of like, why am I doing this shit? And I've gone through it quite a bit where I think what makes me think that is due to different comments that are being made. And I'm like, why do I have to have these random people talk shit to me for what? Like, I literally do nothing and I stay in my lane and I'm in no drama. So I think just like certain comments or opinions that people would put in my mind, I'm like, I have bigger problems to worry about. Like, why are they all my business type of thing? Because sometimes I'm like, I don't like people all my business, but I put myself out there. So obviously that's my own fault. But then at the same time, I love being an open book too. So it's like, you know, you got to give or take. But then when I break it down, I'm like, well, out of how many positive comments compared to how many negative? You know, obviously I have more positive, but there's something in your brain that unfortunately makes you concentrate on those bad times or those negative comments and all that. But yeah, 2020 was definitely not a good year just because of obvious reasons, as well with the world, and then also as well as just life in general. And I already thought of like, this is what I would do. And I already, I'm very, I don't know how to explain it. I guess I'm very responsible in my moves. I'm very good with how I handle myself. I save my money really well, where it's like, well, I would actually be okay for a good amount of time till I figure out this new thing that I want to do, you know. So I did have things I could transition to and all that, but you know, at the end of the day, I honestly really love being on YouTube. I love having a connection, and I like being, I don't know, I don't want to stop just because maybe YouTube may be dying out, or maybe I'm not everybody's cup of tea and I don't have the most views, but it does bring me joy. Like, I like talking to you guys, I like connecting, and I like being my own unique self here on YouTube. And I also think if I were to just stop, I receive like a lot of personal DMs, and I've had a lot of connections with a lot of you guys where I don't want to just disappear and let all of you guys go. Obviously, if I was to a point where I'm like, whoa, this is way too much, I'm very unhappy, I absolutely hate this, all this, I would never sacrifice my own peace just because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my subscribers, which I don't want that to come off as wrong. But again, we all have to protect our own selves, because at the end of the day, we're the only ones to protect our own self. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I'll stop. I don't know. I have a lot of business ventures I want to do, which I'm excited for. Obviously, one is this jewelry business, which I would really love if you guys support. You guys don't understand how hard I'm working on this rebrand. Like, it is so just, I'm putting my heart and soul into this shit. I'm just going to say that right now. I've been asked questions and stuff on DM, like what happened, all of that. I don't want to talk about anything, to be very honest. I don't want to start anything, all that. I'll just say, like, it's better off. I just branched off on my own. I just had to make the decision. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of things I didn't really care for. And yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm excited because now I feel like I can really bring a brand to where it's supposed to be. I feel like my creativity isn't stunted. I feel like I can just execute what I truly want to execute, and also give you guys what you truly deserve. Tried it out, and that's it. That's all I can say. I tried it out, and that's it. Will I ever partner with someone that's a friend or anything ever again? Absolutely not. No, that's a hard no. And things just happen like that. No big deal. But I'm very excited where the brand's going to be. You don't even understand. Like, I'm working so hard on this, and it's been nonstop on my mind to the point where some nights I just can't sleep. And I think it's just because I see the potential. Yeah, I just see the potential of everything and what I truly want to offer everybody. So I'm very eager to just launch this, but I don't want to just launch something half-ass. I want to make sure I take my time, and I've been putting in a lot of damn hours. Like, I've been literally doing shit until like 3, 4 in the morning. I haven't been on IG stories a lot because I'm just working on this, and I'm not one where I'm always going to put every single day, look at me working hard, look at me working hard. No one cares. But I know what I'm doing behind the scenes, so it makes me feel good. But yeah, I got DMs. I know there's going to be curious people. I know all that and blah, 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 but it is what it is, and it's for the best, trust me. And that's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to deal with stupid shit, to be very honest. I don't want to deal with something, I got real life shit going on. I got life, so I don't want to deal. If I could resolve something and stop it immediately, I'm good with it. And this was the best time to do it, after the first launch, and just clean, done, that's it. How to get started at the gym as a newbie. I will say that, okay, people may think that Planet Fitness is like a joke or whatever. I actually have a membership to Planet Fitness and also LA Fitness, and I prefer Planet Fitness. It's just a little bit more mellow. There's no one filming anything. There's not too many machines, but you got like the good basics, and I would start there. I don't see any issue asking for like the staff to help you and all of that, but yeah, I would definitely, I gotta eat. That's what I gotta do. But you guys, once I start talking, this is why whenever I go out to eat with like friends or anything like that, I'm always last, and they're like, oh my gosh, you eat so slow. I'm like, no, it's because I talk so much, So yeah, but start there. Start off to see what kind of cardio you like. If you like to run, then try out the treadmill. Try out every single machine. You should not feel embarrassed. I feel like gym culture, though, is definitely evolving to something pretty cool. There's like a guy on TikTok, Joey Swole, I think, or something. He like calls out people for calling out people in the gym that is unnecessary, like people blocking their camera, maybe looking at them, but they're really not, they're just looking in the direction, whatever. Maybe they're like trying to see how they're really, working out, or how do you do an RDL? How do you do a squat? Not necessarily that you're getting checked out or they're just staring at you, but I feel like gym culture is becoming more positive, which is exciting. Like the other night I was doing hip thrust for my butt on a Smith machine, which is the machine that goes down, you can lock it in and all that. So at first I was kind of embarrassed, I'm not gonna lie, because like you put the pad on, I bring my own pad on the bar and you like thrust, right? And I'm like, all right, well, like my nanny's all up in the air, I'm here, like I lay down, I kind of have boobs, you know, so regardless, like I got boobs, even if I wear a sweater, I cover up. So kind of like it's just like a lot going on kind of thing, but now I just don't care. Like I was just in my head. And the main number one rule is no one's really looking at you. You may think people are like, oh my gosh, you're all like looking at me, I don't know what I'm doing. No one's looking at you. It's all in your head. So again, I was kind of in my head like, I don't want people like looking at me, like my crotch is all up, like whoop whoop, like all that. No one's looking. So the other day, or the other night when I was doing my hip thrust, there was a guy looking from afar, and he was just like, yeah, like, but saying yeah, not like, yeah, I want to hit that, nothing like that. He was just like, yeah, like she's lifting heavy, because I was almost at 3 plates. I could do 3 plates, but I'm not trying to hurt myself. I will say like my legs and all that, it's very strong, so that's why I'm able to do that. But yeah, just people are more positive. He's just like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Dating someone with kids, honestly, mom 143, I could not give you advice on that, because I won't even lie to kick it. I was dating someone at the time. We weren't an actual couple, which is also what kind of I was like, whoa, this is a big deal, because I'm responsible. I'm not just like anybody's like, yeah, let me meet your kid. That's a big deal. I was seeing someone at the time, and this is before Glenn, obviously. Well, no shit, Sherlock. So before Glenn, and we maybe like went on like a couple days, and I already knew him from like before or whatever, so it's kind of like a friendship turned into like, hey, let's try to like date or whatever. And it was like very casual, like very mellow, nothing too serious, but it was like cool and it was fun, you know, like very slow. And then like we went on like 1 or 2 trips, but like all local trips. And then all of a sudden he just like FaceTimes me, and he's like, oh hey, like, and he's like, he talked about like his daughter and all that to me, and I was aware he had a kid, but I didn't mind him talking about his kid. But in my mind I did think, okay, like if you really do get serious, you really have to make sure this is what you really are prepared for, because it's a big effing deal, right? And we weren't serious, so that's why I wasn't like, I'm out, you know. We're just like slowly building. So I mean, I'm pretty open-minded, where I feel like if someone did have a kid, I wouldn't just X them out. But we're all different, you know. There might be some like, oh no, I definitely know I'm not ready for that. But I was kind of like, oh, like I don't think I would mind. Like I think I'm responsible. Like we'll see. I've never done it before. Also very casual. I think that's why it was easy for me to make that decision. Okay. So, he FaceTimes me, and he's like, hey, I want you, after telling me stories about her and all that, how she is and all that, how old she is, blah, 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 you know. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, hey, here's my daughter. And I'm just like, oh, hi. He's like, oh yeah, say hi, this is Lizzy. I'm like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, so-and-so. Like, what the what is going on? That is not how you just introduce your daughter. Definitely not on FaceTime, and definitely not from left field. Like it was a straight, he FaceTimed me and then brought it. Just like, yeah, I don't know if this was a test, but this was definitely not the test. I'm not in school. I'm good. So with that, so quick, I was like, definitely not. And I stopped, because once I saw that, I knew I was not ready. And I also think his execution was very wrong, because it was like, that was way too fast. And I think it's disrespectful to not only me, but more importantly, his daughter. Because that's not, you just don't like show your daughter just some girl that you're casually dating. It was casual. It wasn't super serious. It was like, yeah, we like each other, but let's just see kind of where it goes very slowly. We're having fun, you know, doing things together, seeing new places, whatever. But yeah, so I can't give advice. That was my only experience I've ever had seeing someone who did have a kid. So, but I do know whenever they have kids, it's pretty obvious that you got to mentally prepare. You won't ever be the only person, you know, in their lives. It's always going to be like the baby mama, the baby dad, or vice versa, whoever's seeing whom, you know. So they're not going away. Advice for your 20, 21, 22-year-old self. Have confidence, because you're amazing. I had confidence when I was 20, 21, 22. It was like a really good time in my life, but like real confidence. And what other advice would I give myself? I was pretty responsible, but I was also very wild at the same time, but also responsible. It's kind of hard. Well, I would just say have real confidence. And maybe I will say don't um don't mess with people's hearts, because I won't lie, there were some people that I kind of saw and I just straight ghosted them. And you know, you're young, you make mistakes, and that's when I made those mistakes, and I feel really bad. Like, I feel bad. I do. I've done it to a good handful of people, I won't lie. I was always like a magic act, abracadabra, boom, I disappear. And I think it also has to deal with issues of maybe not having like my dad in my life. You know, like my grandfather was my dad, you guys know that, and he did pass away when I was a freshman in high school. So for me, it was like all on my own with my mom, but like no one was watching me, no one knew where I was going, no one knew what I was doing. I didn't have any male figure. So I think once I kind of like was meeting people and stuff like that, I would like ghost them, because I'm like, whoa, like you like me too quick and this is weird, I'm out type of thing. Like I was scared because I wasn't used to that. So I was like, I'm good. So I think it kind of had to deal with that maybe. So maybe don't ghost people. I'm going to say that. Let's see. How to create meaningful friendships as an adult. I will say friendships are very hard as an adult, and I'm not going to lie. You still have life lessons. You feel like some people who are in your life were going to stay in your life. Sometimes you meet people down the road where you're like, whoa, I've literally met you for like 6 months. How come I trust you more than my friend of over 10 years type of vibe? I've gone through it all. It's very hard. I'm not going to lie. I think I am not even eating shit. It's okay. I know some people get weirded out by the eating, but I hope you're eating while you're watching me. It's cold. But this is going to be my last question. This one's from Barry's World. Yeah, it's very hard. Sometimes, like, there was a point in my life where I kept saying, damn, it's so wild how I have subscribers all over the world. Like, I DM so many people, I've made so many connections, but in my real life, I have nobody. Like, I don't feel like I have anyone, and I feel like the loneliest I ever have. For someone to have, like, some friends, you know what I mean? Like, in your real life, not saying that you guys aren't my friends or whatever, but you know, like, someone that just knows you from, like, the beginning, or someone you can call and just say, hey, like, I literally just went through some shit, can you help me? I need some advice type of thing. Like that, like personal. And I just thought, damn, I don't have anybody. And I think also at the time it was because I kind of was disconnected, and people get very busy with life too. And you're all kind of going through, like, you're just going through life. But I have a lot of close friends where if I were to invite them to my birthday, or if I needed someone, or if I'm just like, hey, you want to grab brunch or lunch or whatever, I'm very fortunate to have a lot of people in my life, like a good handful, I'm not saying tons and tons, where it's just like I can count on them no matter what. So for me, obviously, lots of people are very busy. Like, my friends are very busy. What I love and appreciate about all my friends is at the end of the day, if we don't see each other for months or even a year, maybe 2 years, once we get back together, it's like we pick up right back where we left off. And I appreciate friendships like that so much. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to have friendships like that. To meet new people or to even keep friends that you've already had is very hard. I kind of went through something pretty weird where you're like, damn, do you just not give a shit about me? And it's been on my mind. So there's someone that just, they just didn't want to support my mom's pearl for my jewelry line. You may think that's kind of like silly, but say for instance, they were able to get that necklace for me. Like, hey, you want to support my mom's necklace? And can you imagine them saying something like, oh, it's not really my style, I don't think I'll ever wear it, maybe on a vacation or whatever, but yeah, and that was it. And then say, for instance, like they said that, and I'm thinking, wow, like that's really rude, you know? And you just think, whoa, like, you know, everything I'm going through with my mom, and to mention how much my mom means to me. And like, if you're one of my close friends, wouldn't you want to support that? And it's just like, whoa, it was kind of like mind blowing to me. And like to have also a second chance to also still have, you know, the necklace, you know, just to say, hey, and then still, oh no, I don't want it. It's just a slap in the face, and it says a lot about their character. And I'm honestly really annoyed by it. Like, not even annoyed, disappointed and frustrated and confused, and like, wow, like it's just pure disrespect. Because at the end of the day, if you're like my true friend, you're gonna support me and my mom's dedication piece because you've known us for so long. How could you not? So yeah, it's just weird. Friendships are really weird. I'm very careful with who I let in my circle, and I just want to be extra careful. Sometimes, you know, you block yourself out from new people, or you kind of view someone, you're like, I don't really know them. And then all of a sudden, those people that you don't really know, they could be some of the closest people in your lives, you know, people you've known for less of a time. But to actually like have meaningful friendships, I think it's just important to not just do very surface level things. Um, Spend some time together at a park, have a picnic, and actually sit down and talk. Listen to each other's lives, find out about each other. Not just like, oh, this is just such a good time every time. It's like a boom, boom, so quick. Get deeper, you know, like just get deep, just stop staying so surface level, and then you'll have a meaningful friendship, and then you'll know if you want to keep that friendship. But yeah, meaningful friendships are very hard because then people maybe single, people maybe married or newly married or pregnant or trying to get pregnant or having family issues or health problems or financial issues or work problems. There's like so many things going on in everybody's lives that we don't know about sometimes. And it is good to also, hey, check on your friends. Like, hey, are you doing okay? How are you? Like, check up on your friends, you know? But sometimes some friendships just don't work out due to other people's issues, you know? I know completely detached myself from like a lot of people when Glenn and I were, you know, dealing with family things and all of that, because that's what our focus was, and we had to, and there was definitely no time to have that great of a time. So yeah, that wasn't my focus, and people just had to respect that. And if they don't respect that, then I don't know what to tell them, because they were definitely not a priority type of thing. But yeah, meaningful friendships as an adult is very hard. You lose a lot of people in your life, and I don't know what else to say. I'm not trying to sound negative. I'm just being realistic, but I do think it is important to open yourself up more and create more time, because I do know that sometimes people, and I've done it too, like, how come they don't want to hang out with me, or we haven't done anything? Where it's like, well, have you have you contacted them? Have you asked them, hey, let's hang out? Have you gone out of your way? Why should they go out of their way to ask you? You should ask them too. You have a mouth too. You got fingers too to text. So yeah. Okay, so last one is also about friendships, and they asked how to deal with friendships who aren't reciprocating the same energy. I would just address it. I would talk about it. I would bring up the topic, because if you guys are friends, then you guys should be able to talk, and you should feel comfortable enough to talk and bring up everything that you want to say and feel. And I feel like a lot of people hold a lot of things in, and I think this is the time where you shouldn't. I don't think anybody should. I don't think anybody should feel like, oh my gosh, I can't say anything. But if they're not reciprocating the same energy, first take like the steps, like bring it up and all that. But if you just see a pattern, sometimes that's just what it is, you know? Like, I'm all about just taking out any toxicity out of my life. Yeah, for sure. And that's like been my whole thing. Like, this year was like my one final straw of like, I'm done putting my energy into things that I don't want to. I'm done sacrificing my own inner peace. I'm done settling. Like, I don't want it at all. And I don't think anybody deserves to settle. I don't think anybody should have to deal with anything that can't be resolved. And you've talked about it and you brought it up, and it's an issue, and everybody should take people's feelings into accountability. either side. And if it's just not it, then it's just not it, you know? So yeah, a lot of friendship questions. I feel like friends are hard, you guys. Friends are really hard to come by. Trusting people is really hard as well. And just knowing like people's true intentions is really hard to know. But yeah, at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do, and we have to do what's best for us. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to get going. I obviously need to heat up my dinner, and I'm going to eat. It's very late, and I'm also going to continue working because August is right around the corner, and I cannot wait. It's going to be it. It shows that I've been filming for like 50 something minutes, so I'm going to end it there. Let me know if you guys like these videos. I mean, I personally really love them, and they're super easy for me to film because I like talking. I really do. Yeah, and it's fun for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm going to go heat up my teriyaki chicken because it's cold. I didn't really eat dinner with you, but hopefully you guys ate dinner, had a snack, maybe dessert, or maybe you're cleaning, whatever. But yeah, so late right now, and then I'm going to continue my work. But yes, my jewelry brand is coming out very soon. You guys will hear more information about it. I can't wait. Very, very excited. August is right around the corner, you guys. Get ready. I'll release all the information about it later. I'm not going to say anything here, but yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. I love you, and I'll see you next time when we where we really have dinner together, okay? Okay, bye. Bye. Where'd I go? Bye. Okay.